Cloud computing is all around us, and it provides your organizations the resources, the capabilities to do extraordinary things. Now, to begin, let's look at a little bit what's been happening over the last while. In the US economy, in 1980, was worth 4.9 trillion US dollars. And the weight of goods produced was 1.3 billion tons. Now, if we fast forward the next 20 years, the economy had almost doubled in size to 9.3 trillion US dollars. But the actual weight of goods produced had barely gone up. And this makes sense if you think about it. The things that are most valuable in our economy are not the biggest and the bulkiest things. They are the things that are very light, becoming lighter, or in fact weigh nothing at all. So if we look at the next 17 to 22 years, we can pretty confidently predict that the global economy will double in size. And all of that growth will come from things that weigh nothing. In the field of technology, it is exponential drivers. Everything in technology is moving at an exponential pace. And we'll come back to that in a moment. In business, the key driver is efficiency. Ever more efficient business. And in society, the key driver is that of expectations. We expect more, and what comes out of that. So we'll just look at each of these in turn. Everything in terms of the amount of storage available, the amount of processing power, the amount of bandwidth, all of those things are moving exponentially. And it's quite difficult as humans. Our brain is not great at understanding this power of exponential change. So if we think about today, let's say that all of human technological progress to 2010 has taken us to this level of 100. And this chart shows that if you add that up, the 50% growth, which is pretty much what happens across storage and bandwidth and processing power, means that in 5 years you have 6 times the amount. In 10 years, you have 60 times the amount. In 20 years, you have 3,000 times the amount of what are the fundamental enablers of business today. Now, this extraordinary shift is something which we need to be able to grasp. All of these drivers are exponential. Some of you may have been reading recently about Zara. Very interesting company. In 1975, they set up a store in the Spanish town of A Coruña. It is now in 77 countries around the world. And the owner is the 9th wealthiest person on the planet. From design to creation, to manufacturing, to shipping, to putting it in the shops, to selling it, is 2 weeks. And nothing stays in the shop for more than 4 or 5 weeks at a time. So, they've taken the normal business cycle and shrunk it to 1/20th that size. If you're not doing the same thing, then your competitors will be. Now, I'm looking at building growth. And this is really what business is about. That's the doubling of the economy and how you can participate in that. Aussie White Goods Rescue is an Australian company which has just been around for a year. And they started off by buying the services division of CleanMade, the white goods manufacturer. Now, in fact, all they bought was a website domain, a phone number, a business name. There was actually no operating assets at all. It was all just the things that connect us. So they made a fundamental decision. They say everything we do is going to be based on the cloud. So they've implemented all of their relationship management software. They've implemented their connections with all of the service people. They've got all of their Office productivity suite. Everything is in the cloud. So now they have this flexibility to be able to adapt things on the move. So for example, they may see that a business process isn't working quite right. So they, rather than putting in a request to their IT department or their vendor, they change it on the spot. Next minute, they have a business process which is more effectively adapted. The company is now growing at 15% per month. So what all of this means is that the power of ideas reigns supreme. If you can think of something, you can do it. And that's never been the case before in human history. This access to resources, to money, to capabilities, this cloud business in the broadest sense is absolutely transformative. And that is going to really increase that divergence between those that have the ideas and execute on them and those who continue doing what they're doing. So finally, I want to look at taking action, how to be able to bring this to bear. So there's 6 steps you need to take. The first is to breathe in the cloud, to be able to take advantage of those cloud resources, computing resources all around you, to be able to have this flexibility. You need to make sure that those people inside your organizations and beyond can work anywhere, anytime. But it's not just about the technology. It's absolutely about the culture. How do you deal with the fact that people often working from home? How do you deal with the fact that you have to have some intellectual property and confidential discussions with people outside your boundaries? That's just the nature of how you tap these resources. These are some of the cultural issues you need to support and be able to tap these potential of these technologies. Technology must become a strategic function. The technology is now available as a utility. You turn on the tap, it's there. The issue is now, what do we do with that power? And the technology function can now become strategic. You need to be able to build organizations that are very flexible, very adaptable, can move, can be able to see an opportunity and grab it. Because that is where business is. It's, yes, we have an idea where we're going, but the 5-year master plan is dead. You really have to be that responsive and be able to grab things and take advantage of them. And finally, you need to look at the forces of change. Business is not staying the same. We've seen that the forces of change are going to continue to play. So you need to understand them and to build your business to be able to tap those effectively. So I've looked at the driving forces: increasing productivity, building growth, and taking action. So if we look at all of these, the business impact is going to literally explode in providing extraordinary opportunities for you and your companies moving ahead. Thank you.